All businesses involve risk-taking, but is employing those with employee disabilities worth the risk? I'm Justin Santos and I'm here to discuss about the state of workforce integration of the disabled. And I have taken the liberty of looking into several journal articles that look into the advantages and difficulties of those with disabilities in the workforce environment. Some of the internal and external factors affecting the workforce environment, conclusions that relates to the different advantages and difficulties that they face in their everyday work environment, such as difficulties in communicating, consumer attitudes towards them and their companies, discrimination, and other external and internal factors that affect their day-to-day work basis. I will also discuss the government and their laws' impact on their lives and well-being, as well as the social and moral benefits through different insights and perspectives provided by the researchers in their respective articles. It has always been difficult for the disabled to look for a sustainable job and live like everybody else. Communication disabilities and other disabilities in general have always been a hindrance in their daily activities, much more in the working environment. Employers' views on them are both risky and costly because there are necessary frameworks and adjustments that need to be done for them to be able to do their necessary job positions. But as we humans progress and move towards the future, assistance technologies and laws being enacted for their rights prove that they deserve a harmonious and decent work environment just like everybody else. R.J. Rubin back in 2000 proposes findings that those with communication disorders are a significant loss to the U.S. economy and that they are not to be considered as unemployed but unemployable, even if they can rely on their manual abilities to become productive members of society. Yet they weren't given a fair chance during that time, and it was supposed to be a part of the World Health Organization's vision towards the millennia. The two goals that they were trying to aim for towards the millennia was to eradicate poverty and have everyone access to primary education. Here in which Olosanya, Rubin, and Parving back in 2006 stated that the re-establishment of this frameworks and regulations are vital so that those with disabilities are not left behind. But still remains the cost involved in integrating them would steer away employers from hiring them. In 2003, Bray and Grad Wellington provided an insight on how to deal with different kinds of disabilities and how to effectively communicate or deliver your message towards them. They also proposed that people should become communication partners and should be trained so that interacting with the disabled can be both harmonious and easy. This coincides with PMA Baker and Belorger's articles back in 2004 stating that assistant technologies is key in providing effective communication towards the disabled. But certain policies have been outdated and need to be addressed first before these technologies can be proven effective towards the disabled. That the communication disabled are unable to keep up and that their rights and policies to these technologies have been left behind and outdated. This issue still lingers in 2009, where Jay Simpson showed the different divisions that prohibit the disabled from full use of these technologies, such as accessibility and usability. The author investigated on the laws, provisions, and regulations involved in these technologies and saw how outdated it was. Over the turn of the next decade, in 2010, there was progress. A study about Bakunin and Kozlowski showed the different diversity practices of HR practitioners in the Baltic states. These HR practitioners who employ the disabled have been rewarded with loyal employees. And these are coming from countries where the workforce integration of the disabled was completely void. In 2012, Jay Gills investigates the state of people with disabilities after graduating from university. The research showed on how company policies and government laws were adjusted for their costs. Although companies received benefits like tax cuts from the government, it is certainly effective to see that companies are willing to take adjustments, the necessary costs needed in order to give the disabled a fair chance in the working environment. And in turn, the disabled had given them loyal and honest employees. In the same year, Hogan, Kelman, Harris, and then Roden found out that the disabled are still at a disadvantage compared to their non-disabled workmates. That in terms of workforce participation and earnings. Included are degrees of disparity that varies among the range of different disabilities, not just just limited to the communication disabilities. Sipperstein, Romano, Moeller, and Parker back in 2006 showed that companies that employ the disabled that or offer the different kinds of opportunities towards the diversity have shown a positive impact on the public towards them, showing that they are providing social benefits to the community and that consumers are more likely to do business more with them. And as we come to a close, although there had been regulations such as the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 back in the United States, these regulations succumb to neglect and are always left behind. They become outdated, especially with the rapid progress of our technology. Although even with such challenges, the workforce integration of the disabled still is a work in progress. But now governments are doing their part to improve the benefits involved, and hopefully discrimination in their respective work environments should be reduced, or better yet, completely eradicated. I'm Justin Santos, and this was the state of the workforce integration of the disabled. And thank you.